we just rolled here. It is the 23rd of, well, it's the 22nd going into the 23rd of June. Come at you with this video. We're going to start here with the Schumann, but there's a pretty interesting CME. It looks like it might be coming at us. We'll take a look at that real quick. Plus, the shape of it's really odd. It doesn't look like it should be possible to be able to move the way that it's moving. So we'll take a look at that. And also, there was an object caught over in India a while back, and it showed up again. But also, I'm not sure if you guys know who Bruce Swartz is. He watches the moon a lot, and he looks at the sun. He's got a big, huge telescope, and he's got a channel. It's called Bruce Sees All. I would suggest everybody go over and check him out, because he definitely knows what he's doing, especially with the photography and all that. He's got a special technique where he can zoom in to like the surface of the moon and gets really clear pictures. But he did a post a few minutes ago, and it looks almost exactly like the object that was seen in India. And Brandon Nagley is the one that posted that one. And I don't know that I would have noticed it, but for whatever reason, in my feed as I was scrolling down, both of them were back to back, and both of those captures are part of their thumbnails. So I was like, wow, those look almost identical. So I took a screenshot and I clipped them, and I rotated it so they're both facing the same way. And we'll take a look at that here in a few minutes. But I just want you guys to know what's going on here with, so what's inside the video here. Anyway, guys, again, there's really not a whole lot going on with this to really talk much about. That dead spot there, something I will notice, we'll mention here. If you remember yesterday when I showed you guys this, the black where it was missing data was actually, say that was the black line, and then it came back for a minute, and then it had two separate black lines. Okay? But now all of a sudden, it's just one. So I don't know if maybe they got the data that was one of those missing black lines and they put it back in. It doesn't look like that though, because the black lines were thinner. So, whether or not they just took out the data in between and made it one big black line, I'm not real sure, guys. Regardless, it was changed. So whether it was changed legitimately for a good reason, or whether it was changed so we didn't see something, those are always the questions that we have to ask. But I have no good answer for you there. Your guess is as good as mine when it comes to whether or not they did that. Obviously, I lean towards, in this case, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not really seeing them manipulate this one like sometimes we see on satellite data and stuff like that. But this right here, it just didn't look like that yesterday, guys. Anybody that's seen my video will know what I'm talking about. I would encourage you to, click on it and go check it out. But if you remember, I also pointed out that it looked like we might have been seeing the start of a spike because it was white. And we did. We had a spike. This is what I'm talking about, pulsing. Okay? A year ago, this would have been solid white as a pulse or as a spike. Now it's on off, on off, on off, on off like that. It's just not what we should be seeing, okay? But that's what we're seeing. And look at this. Look at all of the vertical lines. Those are all specific increased frequency, okay? Because remember, a data point on here is vertical. So whatever it's looking at on that vertical line, it will show you. So that's how it knows the spikes. So look at all these vertical lines here. So the frequency was getting picked up in those particular areas right there a bunch. So there's really not, as far as getting ringing in your ears and stuff like that, I don't know that this would really cause it. I would see this, in my opinion, when it's pulsing like this, it might make people be very moody, because you could feel okay one minute and then not the next because of frequency. So in my opinion, when it's pulsing like this, You could have your emotions like a roller coaster. That's all I'm saying. And that's why I don't like to see this, because, I feel it sometimes myself. And that's why I'm mentioning it. And it does seem to, it does have, over the past year or two, it does seem like it's gotten worse. And that could be individual to me, but I hear it from a lot of people also. So just know, if you're experiencing that, guys, where your emotions up, down, up, down, up, down, very moody, just recognize that's what's going on, and this could be the reason, because it will help you deal with it, and it will also help you not lash out at people that you love, or just people in general, because you know what's going on, and you know it's not because of something else. It could be because of this. So basically what I'm saying is, don't take it out on other people. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so we're going to move on. Okay, guys, this is Lasco C2. Excuse me. This is our view. It's as if we walked outside and looked up at the sun. It's our view. So anything that's on the left here is on the left to us. Okay, so that's the view we're looking at. Now, you're not going to see a whole lot. Okay, now there at the end, you might have seen something. Okay, watch. You'll see a blue and red line kind of pop in there just for a second. Right about there. See that? So it was detecting what it thought to be a CME of some sort. At least the way this tool was interpreting it. Now, I'm showing you this because you're not seeing a whole lot. So I'm going to take you over to stereo A. And I was, and I'm also looking at these jets popping out here too. These little whatever. And usually when we see that, something's either happening on the directly backside of the sun, or it's coming at us. Okay, because I went and looked at SDO, and I'm not seeing nothing going either direction on SDO for the extreme ultraviolet that we look at sometimes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you over to stereo A right here, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Okay, now that's clearly an ejection. Okay, and it looks, now let me give you perspective real quick, okay, because the Earth's over here, the satellite's here. So from this, anything that would be possibly coming towards the Earth would be off to the right. And that's exactly what we see here. Now, I just eliminated the chance of it actually going this direction when I showed you the other view, because nothing was being shown to go that direction. So it looks as though this might be coming our direction. And, I went and looked, like I said, on SDO, and I really didn't see a whole lot. Now, when that happens, if it is coming right at us, it's hard to see that sometimes, because the sun's the background, and it kind of camouflages, especially small ones. This doesn't look to be very big. Doesn't look like to be a huge CME or anything like that. But it did take like a ball shape, and it's like it's got a C shape, and it's traveling like that. Now, we've seen that before, but not quite like this. Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. And, if you were just to stop this and look at this right here, you might think that that's an object. Okay, but it's not, because it's most likely just plasma from that ejection, because it travels. It's traveling like extremely fast. Okay, and it came off the sun. It clearly came off of the sun. So that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't traveling to the sun, it was traveling away. So as I put that, even that one, look at that one. I mean, that almost looks like an object. But if you look at the red, okay, it's real bright right there. Now, that was the last capture we get. So, what I said, it didn't look like it should be able to travel that direction. Well, let me show you this. Okay, if you look at it here, you can kind of see a C shape, right? And it gets more prevalent on the next capture. Okay, you see that? So looking at this, if you were just to look at this one capture, it would look like something was here and it was getting blown back by the sun here and it was going this direction. But it's not. It's moving away from the sun, guys. And that's what's really strange to me. So let me put this in motion. Okay, you see how that moved to that. It goes to there. Okay, and then there's the start of the next day where the time lapse reset. So I'm going to hit start again and watch this. Okay, now I'm going to slow it down a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. And again, this isn't a very big one, but let me zoom in over here and we'll watch it a couple times. Okay, you see that? Now what I want to do, just to show you what I mean by it looks like it shouldn't be able to travel that way, or, you know, that signature that we're seeing, I'm going to reverse it, because you guys can do this on this tool. You can reverse the time lapse and have it go backwards. So watch this. Ain't that crazy? Does it or does it not look like it should be moving that direction? I mean, look at that. It just, yeah. And that's what I'm saying, because it just looked, you know, a C shape should not be able to travel towards the right, in my opinion. I don't know how that all works. I'm sure there's some sort of scientific explanation as to why. But remember, I got that in reverse. So let me put it back forward. That's forward. That's backwards. Okay. Start that up again. Back. Forward. Reverse. Forward. Reverse. Okay. You see what I'm saying there, guys? So I just wanted to show you that because, you know, and we've seen backwards, you know, not backwards, but C-shape travel that direction like that. But this one seemed to be a little bit more defined than what we typically see. And most likely it's just a regular CME of some sort. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, it does look like it might be coming our direction, guys. So I can't say for sure because the CME tracker hasn't updated yet. But judging by these two satellites from two different points, two different angles, it does look like it could be at least a decent chance of coming our way. So I'll keep you updated tomorrow and such. You know, we got a lot of time to talk about these CMEs. It's not going to be here tomorrow or the next day. It'll be at least 3 or 4 days before it gets here. So that's what we'll talk about then. Okay, guys, I got you over at YouTube. And this is just the front page, the home page. And this is how I'm going to show you these objects I was talking about. And I'm just going to scroll down. Okay, here's the first one. This is Brandon Nagley's channel. See the fireball or fire, whatever, object over India. Okay, and then here's right underneath it. Here's Bruce's post. Okay, he caught that hitting the moon. So, yeah. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at that stuff, you know, and I'm like, what the heck, man? Them things look awful familiar, right? They look really, really similar. So what I did was, I took Bruce's capture there on the bottom, and I rotated it 90 degrees and zoomed in. Now, those look really, really similar to one another. I'm not saying that they are the same object or the same, you know, could be multiple objects that look the same, that kind of thing. The one that Brandon showed there was actually on fire, but for it to take little gapped up shapes like that, yeah, a typical fireball I wouldn't think would do that. And for, you know, if you look here, you can see how the front of it is very similar. You see little missing sections here, the one Bruce did, and with compared to him, it looks like it has a similar tail coming off the backside. Even the front of it, if you took the front of Bruce's and you rotated it that way, okay, it would bring this bottom part up, or even just flipped it on around. It would look really similar to that. So that's all I'm saying on this. I mean, I don't know what this is. I've left a comment under Bruce's video. If he wants this, he can take a look at it. Obviously, anybody's welcome to use my stuff. I don't care about that at all, really, as long as it's not misrepresented in what I'm trying to say or show. But yeah, I'll leave a link to both their channels. You guys can go check them out. Brandon Nagley and Bruce Swartz. Bruce has been around the community for a long time. And I've talked to Brandon a couple times throughout the couple years I've been doing this. So yeah, go check them out. Go check out these videos they posted, guys. But these definitely look very similar. One of them's hitting the moon, and one of them was over the sky in India. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. I don't know where else to go with that. I just thought, you know, with it being in my feed back to back like that, my intuition just told me, Mel, maybe I should just put them together and see what it does. So that's why I did it. I don't really have any explanation on what these things are. So anyway, we'll move on. Okay, guys, one more thing here before I let you go. We got another comet coming in. It's called Comet NEOWISE, and it's supposed to be around July 3rd, I think, is when it's supposed to be getting really close to the sun. But it's coming into view on Soho, okay? And just to show you guys, you know, this red view here on the side is LASCO C2. This is the one I show you guys all the time. I just showed it to you earlier in this video, right? But there's also a LASCO C3, just blue one, okay? And the only difference is that if you look at the size of the occulters, see how much bigger LASCO C2 is, the LASCO C3? LASCO C2 is zoomed in more, okay? LASCO C3 on the right is a more broad picture. It's zoomed out. It sees more of space, okay? So with that being said, you're going to see things on C3 before you see it on C2, because the view is wider. And NEOWISE is already coming into view right here. That's what that is. Okay. I'm sure you guys can see that, but thought I'd put an arrow on it there for you anyway. But that thing's going to continue to keep, you know, coming in towards the sun and all that. I'm not sure if it's going to be visible with the naked eye or not. I don't think it will. It could be, I guess. I really don't know for sure. I just know that another comet's coming in. Seems as though we've seen a lot of comets this year. I don't know if the number of those are up or if it's down. I haven't looked at any statistics, but I know that I've seen more myself, and maybe just because I'm looking at these tools more often. But I did want to show that to you guys because, and the main reason I show you guys stuff like this, because it's going to be inevitable that somebody out there is going to come out here and say that this is whatever, getting ready to smack into the sun and knock the sun out of our solar system or something. That's just what happens. And I'm not here to, you know, I'm not here to bash anybody or anything like that, but I am here to let my viewers and my subscribers know that don't fall into that. You know, it's easy to do because I did it early on myself. And that's why I kind of try to give a little bit of a warning, I guess, to that kind of stuff. But this is definitely something they were expecting. They've been talking about it coming into view on these satellites already. I do think it's going to be visible on stereo A also, and that would be the satellite that's off to the side here. This satellite's here. Okay, so it's here. This is what we're looking at here, and then stereo A would be over here. Okay, so once this gets traveling closer to the sun, the view of this will be wide enough that it'll pick it up. So we should be able to see it on both satellites. That's the, you know, I think they've already said that that's probably what's going to happen. Pretty much they can say that it's going to happen because of mathematics, unless something changes with the comet. But yeah. So anyway, I'll probably end the video here, guys. I do want to say something here real quick. As you guys are looking at this, I'll just zoom in here so you guys can see that. You do see a couple little meteorites and stuff flying around. Seems as though that has gotten a little bit more active too, just so you guys know. But anyway, I know there's a lot of stuff going on around us. Okay, I'm not even going to get into any of the political conversation, any of the rioting, the this, that, and the third. Guys, this is what I would say to that. Got to be prepared for what you're going to live through. Okay, there's a whole lot of thoughts that go through my mind, and I don't share too many of them when it comes to stuff like this. But I do think it would be smart for everybody just to really keep their head on a swivel. Okay, no matter who you are, no matter what your belief system is, no matter who you support and who you don't. In today's world, you got to keep your head on a swivel, because it can change with the snap of a finger. Okay, and it will change when they decide it will. Hate to say it like that, but that's just the truth of it. And I do have a little bit of a platform here. I got quite a few great subscribers, and I don't think it'd be very responsible for me to at least not say something like that. And I hope everybody's good where they're at, and get where you need to be in your own headspace, guys. Spend the time with the people that you love. Respect those people, and you don't get back any of the time. So that, to me, that's the most valuable thing. And no matter what happens, I'm not saying anything bad's going to happen. I'm just saying, if you look around, it's kind of hard to think that something isn't going on. And I do think it's a sequence of things that were probably planned from the beginning. It does look that way. I'm not going to go into all that, but I look at the stuff just like you guys do. And it's hard to not fall into that mindset. And that's why I don't usually talk about it on my channel, because I want you guys to get a little bit of a relief from all that junk, okay? Because that's what it ends up being. It ends up being junk in your head. And, and I'll say this. Billy Joel had it right back in the 90s. And what I mean by that, well, he had a song called "We Didn't Start the Fire." And we didn't, guys. All this stuff that we see nowadays has been going on since the beginning of time, even. Okay? So it's all about how we react to it and how we decide as a society to address it and whatever. None of us can know the end of it, but just know that this isn't something that has never happened before. Anything that's going on in the world, it's all happened before, and we didn't start it. We just have to deal with it. So that's what I'm trying to say. And when you get that into your mind, you didn't cause it, or nothing you did, or even nobody in this world did, or whatever. It's been going on since the beginning of time. It helps you deal with it more, because that little bit of wondering if you did think this way or that way or whatever, that guilt isn't there, because you didn't start any of this. Nobody started this stuff. It's been going on since before any of us were even around. So that's what I'm trying to say. And whatever happens, happens. Just roll with it. Do the best you can. Stand up for what you believe. And that's the best thing you guys can do. Anybody. But just know, we didn't do this. We didn't start all this. It's been going on since the beginning. Like I said, Billy Joel said it in that song. Go listen to it. Because even some of it even applies to today. And the song was 30 years old. So it's like, what? But yeah, so go check it out. But anyway, enough of that stuff. God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.